Kaynichole After Dark. I am your host, Kaynichole, and we are going to get started because we were supposed to do this yesterday and life was life, and so we weren't able to do it, but we are here today. So what's up? Hey, Kels, what's going on? Hope you are doing well. Everybody's enjoying their Thursday. So, yeah. So as I always say, be sure to check out past episodes of Kaynichole After Dark. They are on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you would, please. And I am here to talk about, yes, new relationships are delicate because meeting people that have different personalities than you can be a little daunting in the dating relationship, I'm going to say. So let me take my sip. Good. And no, it's not wine. It's soda because these relationships are losing more fizzle than soda real quick. So, yeah. We wanted something that's going to express the relationships, and relationships just be fizzling out because nobody really wants to put actual time and effort. Still, we got lazy dating going on out here, but I digress. I've talked about that over and over again. So if y'all want to know about that, y'all can check the past episodes. So took our first sip of the evening. Okay, so let's get into it. New relationships, right? Why they're delicate. Okay. Now, if you are really interested in meeting people and trying to find that person for yourself, it can be quite daunting and it can be very difficult, trying to meet different people, dating different people, and all that good stuff, right? I have put that title there that new relationships are delicate because not that you have to walk on eggshells, but the fact that you guys are coming from two different worldviews. You guys are coming from different, maybe ideologies, family structure, who knows, right? But you guys are now entering into each other's worlds. And honestly, I don't think people know how to do it. I don't think people know how to interact with somebody and actually build a relationship. One that has meaning, one that has consistency. When you meet a person, especially with this Instagram dating, right? With this Instagram dating, you slide into somebody's DMs. If they're not following you, they might not see it. They may have to see it in the request or whatever case might be. But when you start the process of getting to know somebody, especially with online dating, ask questions. Be mindful, because I don't think that people are asking the right questions, nor are they really engaging. Okay? Saying good morning, good night, those salutations are great. Believe me, they're sweet. People acknowledge them. However, that is not enough of meat and potatoes to really formulate a relationship with anybody. And I don't understand that this is what's going on. These highs and hellos and what's ups. Like, come on, people. Okay? For my men and my women, we can do better than that. And I implore you to find someone that does better than that, because we have to really have discernment when we're dating. Okay? Especially if you're looking, like I said, for a person that you want to spend your life with. If you're just dating to just fuck around and everything like that, be my guest. This is not for you. Please dismiss yourself. But if you are talking about wanting a relationship and really building with somebody, you have to put in the work. And I understand that it can be taxing, especially with men, because, You're expected to do that, put in that effort, extra effort. When you're putting in that effort, you can find out about how a person's mentality is in the first 3 to 6 months if you're paying attention. Okay. And that I want to do a story time, but I'm hoping that the person won't actually jump on the live, honestly, because I'm not in the mood. First of all, I'm not in the mood to have to deal with that person right now. But it's mainly because I want to share something that recently happened. And as you know, I don't share any names or anything like that, but recently had an interaction with, I'm going to say, a quote unquote suitor, right? So they told me that they were going to bow out of trying to holler at me because it wasn't courting. Courting would take a lot more effort than this person was doing. But anyway, they no longer wanted, I guess, to holler at me. So, and the way they said it, I didn't understand it, so I asked for more clarity. Anyway, they provided that clarity. And I had to say to them that saying hello and hi and just common pleasantries with sexual innuendos is not going to grab a female. That's really about something, okay? Like, and that's what I'm saying too. Like, they're delicate in the way is how you come at a person, okay? If you're coming at a female, my guys, if you're coming at a female saying, oh, I can wine and dine you, girl. Let me take you away in this and the third. Relationships are delicate, so you have to handle them with kid gloves, like for real, for real. So, okay. So back to this guy, right? So leading with finances and everything like that, that does not grab me. So I don't engage, right? That doesn't grab me. I'm like, oh, that's nice, wonderful, yeah. Like I said, if you lead with money, you're going to get a person that will relieve you of your gold. That's not me. Not interested in other people's money. Definitely not. I got my own. And I know that can be a turn off for a lot of men, because they want a woman that's going to be able to depend on them at certain points in time. But you understand the difference between a woman that knows that she can depend on you financially versus a woman that's looking to relieve you of your money. Two different things. Those that are just coming in, welcome to Kaynichole After Dark. I am your host, Kaynichole, and we're talking about the delicacy of new relationships. You got to start off slow. You got to start off with kid gloves because you might scare them away. It's fragile. So that's what we're talking about tonight. If you have missed any of my past episodes, please do like, subscribe, and comment on past episodes. Please, we would love that. Thank you. So after that little quick announcement, right? So I proceed to say to this person, after they've told me that they're no longer interested in pursuing me, basically, well, that's unfortunate. We never really had a real conversation or anything like that. And the person became pretty irate very quickly. And that is the point of taking your time and being slow with these relationships. Like I said, they're delicate, so you want to pay attention. Like I said, you can learn a person and kind of see who they are in the first 90 days to 6 months. Be vigilant. So I have known this person, for about maybe 2 to 3 months, right? No real engagement, no real conversation. So what's it going to do? It's going to die. You're not watering it. Neither of you are watering it. And like I said, men, you have to not chase, okay? You don't chase a female, but you pursue her, which means that she's shown interest in you and she's saying, hey, come and get it, baby. Then you pursue. Chasing means that she's not interested and you're delusional and you're just continue to running after her. You're Pepe Le Pew, okay? Nobody likes a Pepe Le Pew. So, you, welcome. So, they tell me that if I'm not their type, to let them know and everything like that. Which, honestly, women should let you know if you're not their type. Anybody should let you know if you're not their type. You shouldn't be stringing you along, seeing what they can get from you, if they'll like you later on, or whatever case might be. Because most likely, if you don't like somebody in the beginning of knowing them, you're not gonna like them later on. Okay? Like, stop fooling yourself and say, oh, I'm not crazy about you now, but I can learn to. If you're not really crazy about them, like feature-wise, personality-wise, I don't care what they say, they're not going to wear you down. They're just going to wear you down to annoy you, and you're not going to want to be there. So I had this conversation with a friend of mine, and they were like, well, if they don't like you initially and everything like that, but they have to have something about liking you, whether it be physically, whether it be a slight personality. There has to be something there that for the person to want to continue to speak to you. If it's not there, it's not there. So personally, I didn't know this gentleman well enough to say yay or nay about knowing them, right? So I basically tell them, like, we have had no conversation, we haven't had anything, so it's disappointing I didn't get to know you, but this is what it is, right? They proceed to become, like I said, they become irate and upset because they felt like I should be doing more work. I should have been, more proactive. And from a man's point of view, I can see how y'all can get frustrated, okay? When a female is not responding in the way that you would like or anything like that. But that is an indicator. Or you ask questions, You can say, I can see that you're not really, but the thing is that's part of the thing that nobody wants to be vulnerable. Because once you're vulnerable, you're just going to share yourself and be like, well, I've been feeling you, but I'm not really getting correspondence from you. What's up? Are you busy? What's happening? Because if they're busy, try to work around that. If they're just not interested, that too. But this person, I felt, wasn't pursuing. And I'm a person that I'm like, I'm here, just waiting in the wings. When is my king coming to save me? So I'm here, right? Waiting, not damsel in distress, damsel in waiting, right? We're keeping busy making money until the king finds us, right? So I tell him, because I begin to tell him about the conversation, about how I felt about everything, now he proceeds to have a conversation with me. But it's not the conversation that you think. No. It's a barrage of anger and insults, because this person is saying to me that I'm wasting their time. And again, like I said, I get it. But in those first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month, it's up to you to make an impact, okay? A female, and I know it might seem like, she's pretty, or she seems to be by herself or something like that, whatever the case might be. But understand, you might not be the only one that's hollering at her. Now, Angel Brexton says, we do pursue, and we're on the floor. Oh, where's my king at? Haha. But yeah, so you have to really make a point in the effort to get to know her. So, and then if she's interested, she should communicate back. Like I'm saying, like if this is like a game of tennis, double dutch, you wanting to jump in there and everything like that, whatever game you want to see, it takes two. If you're by yourself, know that you're by yourself and just walk away. Like, that's the easiest way. Walk away and be done with the relationship. Don't worry about it, or lack thereof. Don't worry about it. They weren't getting your attention. But in any case, this person began to engage with me and have a conversation and everything like that. But like I said, it was in anger. It was in anger. And like I said, I personally don't know why there was so much anger. Maybe y'all can advise me of why there was so much anger when you're not doing your part in making a conversation or relationship work. It takes two. So a female is going to give you the level of attention that you're giving back. Like, if you want a certain energy, you have to ask for it, you have to request it. And if you're not getting it, inquire why. Like I said, always have a conversation. There's nothing wrong with having a little vulnerability and showing that you're interested and trying to find out why this person is not engaging. If you really like them, if you don't really care, then keep it moving. I had a person that liked me at one of my jobs, and we exchanged phone numbers. The conversation didn't really go anywhere, and wasn't asking a date. What did I do? I deleted the number. There's no point in continuing to have a conversation when it's clearly not leading anywhere. Neither person is interested, really, because otherwise there would be more phone calls. There would have been a date with this set within the week or two. So that is how I feel women should gauge things. If you meet a guy and he hasn't tried to plan a date with you, and you're in the same state, and he hasn't tried to plan a date with you within the first 2 weeks, possibly 3, then I would say that they're not interested. I personally would say they're not interested. I'm wasting my time, because if you like a person, if you really want to get to know them, you're going to plan time to spend with them. Especially if you're in the same state, you're going to figure out a way to plan a date. If they don't plan a date with you in the first 2 weeks, take it as they're not interested, move on. Because the thing is, I feel like people are wasting their time chasing things that are not serving them, because it's not a pursue thing, because they're not showing interest. So anyway, back to this person going crazy. Well, I'm gonna say going crazy, because it became a thing about it became an attack. It became an attack on I'm not getting any younger. It became an attack on my blackness. There was an attack on what I'm looking for, all these assumptions and things of that nature. And it kind of bothered me, because it was like, you had all this time to ask me questions and find out who I was as a person, but you didn't. And when you're now telling me that you're no longer pursuing me, and I'm just like inquiring, well, why? Because you weren't really doing it in the first place. I was expecting more conversation, and I even said that to them, and that's how the whole thing started. I'm like, well, I wish you would have conversed with me, so I got to know you. And now that, and I'm saying, and again, I say relationships are delicate, because you're getting to learn that person, so you want to put your best foot forward. And so maybe him and I had not had any conversation previously, and just had salutations, but based off of this interaction, we probably could have moved to the next step if we had a calm, collected conversation, everything, but that's not what it was. So that's not the energy I can give it. So at the end of the conversation, they apologized for their anger. They apologized for what they said, but now the damage has already been done. Okay. And that's the thing. You can tell red flags right away. And part of those red flags in dating and the delicacy of a relationship is the conversation. Are they conversing with you? Are they giving pleasantries? Are they giving more of themselves? Like, are they sharing personal stories? Are they telling you about childhood? Are they telling you about pets, parents, family? You know, are they digging deep? And if they're staying pretty shallow, if they're staying pretty on surface level, then don't waste your time in trying to get to know this person, because clearly they want to keep it surface level. Well, look, people's actions speak louder than words. Hey, what's up? What's going on? Welcome to the live Kaynichole After Dark. Good to see y'all that I haven't seen in a while. Thank you for tuning in. And if you're interested in, you know, seeing more episodes, definitely like and subscribe, because we've been talking about relationships and current situations and all that good stuff. And the current situation, like I said in the pen, is that relationships are delicate in the first couple of months to a year, because you guys are getting to know each other and you got to put your best foot forward. And I'm telling you, men and women are not coming correct. Just not. Yeah, you're not doing it. You're not doing it. So I'm encouraging you to get it together. Put your best foot forward. Have a conversation. Share some of yourself. There's nothing wrong with sharing who you are as a person, if you really want them to get to know you. So after the barrage of insults, they were like, let's start over. Now, had the insults and everything and the anger not have been there, then maybe I would have or could have started over mentally. But when you're able to see how a person gets angry so quickly when you have a difference of opinion, is a red flag. Okay? If a person is quick to make assumptions about you and they haven't asked you any questions, it's a red flag, and it's also showing immaturity. Okay? Please take note of the immaturity. Immaturity is name calling. Immaturity is not able to emotionally regulate yourself, because there's no reason why a conversation about why you're no longer interested in pursuing the relationship goes from a level 2 to a level 10. There should be no, like, you should be able to have a discussion with somebody about why a relationship is not going to move forward without having to curse and yell and scream or any of that behavior. Okay, so what else happened? What else was regarding in that conversation? So yeah, and then you got to learn how, in that same instance, I learned how a person deals with hearing the word no. Okay, now in this day and age, we are at a point where everything is instant, microwave life. You know, you can get it instantly, you know, or at least within the hour. Uber Eats, you know, Lyft, Amazon Prime, get your stuff. Like, that says, the hell? Let's start over. He sounds straight mental. So yeah. So I mean, if a person tells you no and you become all hot and bothered and funky about it because they're telling you no, then there's clearly an issue and concern with you, because you should respect people's boundaries. Stop licking my feet. Stop licking my feet. There's certain boundaries that they have that they don't want you to cross. They obviously feel a certain way about something, and they're telling you no, and so you should respect it. But if a person or even actions are showing you that you can't go any further, that this is where their cutoff is, then you need to respect that. And not even with saying you need to respect it. If you find a person that becomes irate and angry and upset because you're saying no, you're putting up clear boundaries, you're putting up where this is no longer acceptable to me for whatever the reason, whether it be safety, mental acuity, whatever it is, you know, and you're like, no, I don't want to continue this any further, and they continue regardless, like you didn't say anything, or they get upset that you say no and try to manipulate or change something or whatever, that person is not the person for you. And people try to do that all the time. You're hilarious. You're hilarious. So watch out for these things. I don't want to keep on like calling out red flags in people, but there are red flags in a person that cannot self-regulate themselves, meaning that they can't regulate their emotions, and second, that they can't handle no. Those are the two big indicators, and you can find those out within the first 90 to 6 months, you know, whether that they can handle this. And hey, how you doing? And I wanted to make this a topic because I feel that in this day and age, everybody is looking for someone to meet their needs. And I get that, you know? That's part of like the hierarchy, you know, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you know? So I get it. We all want our needs to be met or our wants to be met. However, we cannot subjugate somebody just to have our needs met. We cannot force and manhandle somebody because we want our needs met. It is about working together in a relationship that both people are getting their needs met. We're feeding into each other, not just pouring into one person. And if you don't feel like you are both being fed and it's like a double dutch, you know, where y'all both, you know, then leave it alone. Then leave it alone. It's not for you. And I just want to encourage people to have healthy relationships, have healthy boundaries, have a healthy no, okay? Because some people be saying no just for the hell of it, just to be mean. Be mindful in how you go about your relationships and how you pursue relationships. It is getting to know somebody because you guys are from different worldviews. It can be very quick to offend somebody, hurt somebody's feelings, say something that may come off the wrong way because you don't know this person. And there's nothing wrong with asking questions and getting confirmation on what you want to know. And that means, again, being vulnerable. And I think that this person couldn't handle being vulnerable. You know, couldn't handle hearing the words no. Couldn't handle feeling that their efforts were in vain. But had they had a conversation with me, which I feel like you should have a conversation with any female that you're pursuing, then you'll know what to do. There's nothing, like I said, there's nothing wrong with asking questions. Especially if you're trying to find the right person. You just gotta ask the right questions, and you gotta be mindful in the questions that you're asking. But again, I'm saying that they're delicate because, not saying you have to walk on eggshells, please don't misunderstand when I say that. You don't have to walk on eggshells, but know that, not saying to be calculated, because that sounds like you're like plotting on a person, but just be mindful in the questions that you ask. Be intentional with the questions that you ask, and pay attention to how they answer. Are they giving you superficial answers? Are they going in depth and really thinking about it? What are their intentions with you? But like I said, be intentional and know why you're going about a person the way that you're going about it. And like I said, stop leading with money. Please stop leading with money, because you're going to find yourself a gold digger, and that's not what y'all want. So please just say that you want to get to know them. Don't even talk about where you want to take them or anything like that. Let's not even think about that. So I am going to end this now because it's been a long day. But my takeaway from this is that learn somebody, take your time, ask the right questions, observe how they deal with disappointment, because that would be the biggest tell, how they deal with disappointment. And think about how you're leading into a relationship. How are you pursuing this person? Are you pursuing them with money? Are you pursuing them with education? How are you pursuing them? I'm not gonna put any other labels on it, but how are you pursuing them? Because that makes a difference on the type of person that you're going to attract. So thank you for tuning in. Check out past episodes, of course. Also, just to note that my hair oil is back on Etsy, so if you do want a hair oil, different fragrances, be sure to go to my Etsy, which is in the bio, and purchase yourself some beautiful hair oil that's going to give you long, luxurious hair. So thank you again for tuning in to Kaynichole After Dark. I'll be in touch. I hope that you do the same. And of course, always keep your crown straight. Thank you for tuning in, and take care. Have a great rest of the week.